Hi guys, it's Shell, Heart of It All Custom Creations. Welcome back to another video. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button to see future videos. I post new videos every week. So today I am going to get into the summer vibes and we're going to do a beach tumbler. So let's go. So I went ahead and painted a 20-ounce stainless tumbler from the Stainless Depot, and I did like an ombre of colors. The bottom one is sand, the middle two are the water, and then the top two are the sky. So this is a sunset or a sunrise, I guess whichever would work. And I mixed up about 5 milliliters of epoxy, and I'm going to put this all over my tumbler. So we are going to use a lot of glitter. I'm going to start with Athena. This is like a chunky-ish cut from Peach Olive Glitters. And I'm going to just kind of tap that onto the bottom part where the sand would go. I do it very, very, very light at first. And then I decide to go a little bit heavier. But I will also use a fine glitter over this. The next glitter I'm going to use is Kaneone. I don't know. I'm butchering in that, I'm sure. And I'm going to place this over that teal section. And this isn't a chunky, but it's not super fine either. So it's kind of like a mid chunk or mid cut. And I am making sure to take that up into the blue and down into the gold also. And then I'm going to use 30A. This is also not a chunky, but a bigger cut. And I'm going to sprinkle that on the blue, going down into the teal and up into the coral. And then I'm going to use Mica. This is a kind of a medium cut, and it is so pretty. It's got like almost like a yellowish gold flake cast in it, so I thought that would be perfect. And I take that down into the blue and a little bit up into the purple. And while this does not look the best right now, it will. Then I'm using Regal, which is a chunky mix, and I'm going to put that on the purple. And I honestly end up putting a little bit of this down in that blue section. Now moving into our finer cuts, I'm using Goddess, and I am going to pretty much go ham on the sand portion of this. Making sure that it has really good coverage, and also taking it up into the teal portion of the tumbler. Once I'm done with that, I will move on into Mint Chip, a really gorgeous cut, and it goes really well over this teal. Does not have very much color shift in it, but that's okay because the Kaneone, however you pronounce it, has enough in it for the both of them. And you can't really tell, but I am tilting my tumbler just a little bit so that mint chip will cascade into the blue. Then the next one I'm going to go into is Oath, and it is so pretty. It has, I want to say, like a teal shift along with a purple shift, but it's so hard to tell on camera, but it just perfectly went over the 30A. And making sure to get good coverage of that and taking it slightly into the other colors. Then next I'm going to go in with Seacrest Beach. And this is like I would say a lighter version of Mega, but thinner. And it just sort of brought all of that together. It wasn't as deep, dark as it was. So it definitely lightened it up some. And it's so hard to tell on camera than it is in real life. So and then the last glitter is Thompson by Glitter Outlet, or Olive's Outlet. Olive's Glitter Outlet. The nice light purple to contrast with that dark of the Regal. And I am making sure that I just get it full coverage. Now, the glitter that I forgot to take off my paper that fell, it does not go to waste. It goes into a dump jar. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak today. And I use it for filler. But once I let this completely dry, I tap off any excess and making sure that all that glitter is laying down flat. Actually, I do that before it dries since it's all covered. And I'll let this dry overnight. And then first thing in the morning, I put a coat of epoxy on. And then once that was done, it was time to add our second coat. And this is where we're going to kind of embellish on making it look more like the ocean and the sky. So I am putting a coat of epoxy on this. Not too thin, but not too thick either, because I do go through and kind of put like a string of just clear epoxy on the blue and the teal. And so then on the second part, I'm using blue and like a fuchsia mica powder that we're going to use for the water and the sky. And here I'm just sprinkling it on there, if you want to call it that. And then I'm going to use my glove finger and kind of smooth it out. And I didn't want this epoxy too thick so that that mica would just move around too much. I wanted it to basically stay as close to where I put it. So this is just adding dimension into the sky and into the water. Once that's completely dry, I do another coat of epoxy, another thin coat. And this is where I'm going to do kind of the clear around the water, so that when we go to put our water waves, that's what they're called, waves, on, it will do pretty good. So I'm going to do the waves in two different ways. The first one, as you can see, I'm just taking that epoxy and just sort of going up and down around the water. And I have the Alumilite epoxy dye, and I'm putting just a smidge onto the end of my popsicle stick, and I'm going to mix that in. Now what this is, kind of makes it almost like a cloudy white. So I'm going to go in and do that first, and then I will do the water again, but with more of the epoxy dye. Now, some people use a blow dryer or a heat gun. I personally like to use a straw to make my waves. So I just gently blow onto where the white epoxy is, and it kind of creates the waves. Like I said, this is a kind of a cloudy white. So the next one that we do, when I add more of the epoxy dye in, will be the more bigger white waves. And you'll be able to really tell with the cells in those. And again, I just take the straw and blow, going either to the side or down or up, depending on how I want the waves to hit. And then I'm dipping my finger into it and creating clouds up in the sky. So now I'm going to add a little bit more of that mica powder into the what's left of the white. And I end up putting more mica powder, pink mica powder in there. And then I put some purple mica powder that I'm going to use around the clouds. And kind of just outlining or highlighting the clouds, whether it be using the pink or the purple. And you know how a lot of times when the sky is that vibrant of pinks and purples and oranges and yellows, that a lot of times the clouds will be highlighted with those colors too, and that's what I really wanted. So I do the pink and the purple, but then I really wanted to add some orange in. So I do that later. So here's where I add the orange, and I just sort of go in between all of that. And anywhere that I felt like I had too much, I did wipe that off and blend it in more. But I definitely think adding the orange really made this whole thing pop. So then I'm going to let this completely spin once I'm done adjusting everything. And once I'm happy, I will let this spin until it's cured. Once that's cured, I had cut out some palm trees to be like the landscaping. But I'm also cleaning up the rim. So this is like 3 separate files. Like the middle is all one file, and then the end trees are 2 different files. And then I found this Beach Life, and I created an offset for it because I really wanted to use this holographic opal vinyl. And I wanted it to be able to pop off of the glitter, and I figured it would blend way too much in if I didn't add the black outline to the back. And apparently I really struggled getting this to line up. Just to make it easier on myself, I did cut off the bottom portion of that so that I could wrap it around and it would be as close as possible. Then I lay down the vinyl, removing the backing, and place it on there. Then I remove the transfer tape, and then we can add on our saying. But I'm loving how this is looking so far. Once I'm happy with that, I go ahead, remove part of the backing, cut it off, anchor it down, and then remove the other half and place it down, squeegee it out, and then I will take off the remainder of the transfer tape. And you can see that color shifting in the vinyl. It goes from orange to yellow to almost a pink. I mean, it's just stunning. So what I'm going to do now to make sure that none of this vinyl lifts is I'm going to put a coat of the CC DIY Quick Coat all over this tumbler. I definitely do not want this vinyl lifting. And then I'm going to add 2 final coats of epoxy. And this beauty is done. And I am loving how it turned out. I love the different style of waves and all of that. I think it definitely speaks summer. So yeah, I'm ready for summer to come. But I really hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, give it a great big like. I will post this on my website if you are interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.